ladies and gentlemen, now for your official introduction, the fighter fighting out of the red corner, weighed in at 117. He's 37, stands at 6'4". He fights out of Kia Font Tip and Game Fight and hails from Leeds by way of London, Ture Asaboro. And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, weighed in at 113. He's 29, stands at 6'1". He fights out of Fight Ministry, Humberston, and hails from Grimsby, Charlie Metcalfe. Your referee, Mr. Paul.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to sound the unit alarm because the heavyweights are in the building. Ture Asaboro fighting out of the red corner with the black shorts trimmed with white as he takes on Charlie Metcalfe. He's representing Fight Ministry Humberton, the black tie shorts. Both of these heavyweights want to know. Metcalfe earned a 9-minute decision. Asaboro has a knockout to his record, but these are two big boys.
They're both units. Obviously, Metcalfe's fought on Almighty before. He had a very, very good fight. He went the distance, but he really showed how strong he was. He showed cardio as well, which people talk about cardio for big lads, so that was really impressive. Ture fought on BMF and had a knockout, so we were excited to get him on this show as well.
Yeah, he's a really patient fighter. He doesn't throw a lot, but what he does throw, he throws with power.
Yeah, the thing is with when you get to these sizes, it's scary the power they've got.
Just takes one, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Well, it doesn't even need to land properly at this weight. They're such big, scary, powerful guys.
Nice popping straight left hand from Metcalfe. Snaps the head of Asaboro back, but
Asaboro looks calm though, doesn't he?
Oh, his expression never ever changes. He looks like he's waiting for a bus in there.
For two lads that are 1-0, it's just a fight you want to see, really. And with the heavyweight division being the way it is, it's quite a shallow division, so you get 2 or 3 wins on a show, you're not far off fighting for a title fight.
Absolutely.
I mean, our champ Jamie Acton is due to come back in November. We've agreed an opponent from which will be announced shortly, so it'll be nice to see Jamie back in the cage.
Yep.
Jamie looked really good when winning the title against Wilkinson.
It's a heavy body kick. Sorry there, Rick.
As well, sorry.
Heavy body kick landed by Metcalfe. But again, Ture Asaboro just holding the center of the cage, a few flinches, no wasted movement.
Yeah, I suppose the thing is with the bigger guys, you don't want the wasted movement, do you? Because you're going to get tired a little bit quicker, maybe. But I mean, like I say, Charlie went the 9 minutes, so we know he can go 9 minutes.
Absolutely, and it was at a fair pace.
And he got stronger as the fight went on as well. His opponent got tired, and Charlie got stronger.
Oblique kick there to the knee from Metcalfe.
Nice leg kick as well from Metcalfe.
You can hear the corner from Ture Asaboro, the Game Fight boys, asking them to keep that jab in Metcalfe's face.
Yeah, we know their head coach is ill at the minute as well, Mabsley, so we wish him well. Hope you heal well soon. If you're watching the fight, hope you get well soon.
Absolutely. And it's unfair to call this pace tentative, considering the power that both these fighters hold. One mistake, one mistimed, one miscalculation.
It was like when Francis Ngannou fought Derek Lewis. It was a very cautious fight, but you make one mistake against those guys, and you're lying face down, and all of a sudden you're looking up at lights thinking, what's gone on? You have to be there's so little room for error when you get to this size guys. Again, I wouldn't want to be scoring this round.
No,
I don't know which way it would go. They've both landed, but no one's landed anything that's that's been more significant than what the other one's landed. Two cautious guys. Look how happy Ture looks there.
Well, again, when you've got two big sides of beef in there like that, throwing at each other, it doesn't take much for one to finish. You think that one of them needs to step up the pace a little bit, though. You can't stay in just reaction mode. Otherwise, we are going to get a Derek Lewis and Ngannou fight. One of them has to decide to take a step forward in the next round, perhaps put their pace on the fight a little bit.
Well, you look who Ture's got in his corner, and he's got Robbie Kennedy, and of course, Robbie Kennedy is the owner of one of the best highlights in Almighty's history, and certainly this year, with the front kick in his fight, it was unbelievable to watch that.
It was immense. And Robbie Kennedy really coming along.
Yeah.
The improvements in his game, and I would suggest that because he's doing a lot more of this as well. A lot of cornering, which allows him to tighten up his own game as well. Second round.
Well, he's got a couple of AVT corner stuff. You look at, Charlie's dad as well.
Yep.
And then, of course, you've got Robbie there as well. So let's see what if anyone can. I don't feel like the kicks is the way forward unless it's legs. I think we need to get with the boxing. I think that's what the difference is going to be. And that's what we saw from Charlie in his first fight was the boxing. But this is a bit of a bigger step up. Maybe he's a bit wary of being caught with a return punch if you watch the fight from BMF.
Neither have wanted to close that distance and engage in a clinch game. Neither have looked for a takedown so far. So both happy to be exchanging on their feet. Both looking to try and earn that KO or TKO.
Yeah. Oh, that seems to have. He reacted to that then. Did you see that?
I did. That
a
little bit of a grimace. I'm not sure what landed.
Charlie's took centre of the cage. I'd say that's the only thing that's standing them out above the two, really, is the centre of the cage from Charlie.
I mean, it really does look like both of them are trying to counterfight at the moment, so somebody has to step forward. Feint up high, change the level, go for the power double.
We want to see something, don't we? Again, it's a very, I understand why it's a very cautious fight, but
I wouldn't let either of them hit me right.
No, I wouldn't even be in the cage with them, to be fair. I feel at the moment it's edging towards Charlie in this round, so I'd like to see Ture, maybe he needs to do something. I think mainly just because of the, if you're looking at damage, the damage is basically minimal, so you're then looking at control.
And right now,
the guy in the middle is the one that's controlling the action. He's the one pushing forward, controlling the centre of the octagon. So for me, if you're looking at control, because there's no damage on either side, we've had leg kicks, but they're both through leg kicks.
Yeah,
I feel like
it really is tough to separate the two of them at the moment.
It was a bit like that in the previous fight with Crag and Jude, and then obviously Crag come on really strong, a little bit strong in round 2 and really strong in round 3.
Absolutely. I mean, they are showing an enormous amount of respect to each other's power.
Yeah, and you can understand
Absolutely.
why. Rushing in at heavyweight is not the wisest thing to do.
Heavy leg kick, almost caught there by Asaboro.
Very interesting fight.
But Metcalfe perhaps just through volume in this round.
I feel more through control with the octagon. I feel like they've not really, none of them have really through a mega amount, but wow, up until like the last 30 seconds, Charlie's controlled the centre of the octagon. So if you're looking at, we go the judges scoring, you're looking at damage, very limited. You look at octagon control, that for me goes to Charlie.
Yeah, so, I'm not going to argue with you, Ray. And luckily, you've got 3 more qualified people sitting around the cage side than
One of them being your son.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, let's not tell people that, because
he's doing a great job.
He does do a good job, I must admit.
To him. It's nice to see him following his dad's footsteps and following the passion of MMA. You've obviously raised him properly.
We have, well, and the fact that he, oh God, I'm proud of him. He trained jits, he trained some MMA, he goes to the gym because he wanted to understand what he was watching, and he's
a lovely lad.
Thank you. I'll make sure Mom hears this piece of commentary for sure, Ray. Thank you.
I get invited around for tea?
Absolutely. He's put in his time to get here, Ray, as you know, and that's what all judges need to do. He started shadowing at 13 years old for Neil Hall. Shadowed thousands of fights with Neil Hall's crew, and has worked his way up to become, I think, one of the most consistent judges in the country at the moment.
And we've seen judges from under this team go on to do Cage Warriors and UFC
Absolutely.
with Daryl Ransom. So there's so much potential.
Daryl, what a great official. But here we go, 3 minutes to separate them in what is a very tight fight.
So Ture's come out a little bit more aggressive. Paul went and spoke to, I saw him speaking to Charlie, the referee, Paul Crosley. He went and spoke to Charlie. I don't know what was said. I don't know why he spoke to him, whether he was telling him to pick the action up, whether he was giving him some warning because of something he did, but I didn't really see anything that looked, there was no...
I didn't see anything egregious, and if it was a case of picking up the action, you'd have thought he'd have spoken to both corners.
Yeah, that's very true, and whether he did speak to both, and I just didn't see him speak to Ture.
But now, Metcalfe again starts to hold the center of the fighting area, and
it's become a very, very cagey fight.
Yeah.
It's very much. It's all about. They're kind of fighting not to lose rather than to win. I'm not criticising. I understand why, but it's all about not getting caught.
Yeah.
That first mistake and you're out of the fight, and that's the problem. But they are two huge heavyweights.
Big boys.
Charlie looks like he's actually lost weight from his last fight, because I'm sure he was at the heavyweight limit, and you look now, he's looking really good. Looks like he's trimmed down a little bit.
See again, the referee Paul just asking for a little bit more. There's lots of feints. There's lots of.
Oh, he slipped on the floor then, but it was just a slip. There's nothing coming inwards that would have made it look like he wobbled him. I tell you what.
Ooh, almost walked onto that knee there.
Yeah, and you can't knee
to the head.
No. I would not like to be scoring this fight. I think this would be such a horrible fight to score, because they've both been, so cautious.
A draw?
Very rare you see a draw in a 3-round MMA, unless there's a point deducted, which that hasn't happened, of course. It's very rare you see a 10-10 round.
I'm sure there's got to be something that has separated these fighters, and as you said, there were 3 wiser heads around that cage than ours to have to do it.
Thank goodness
you
we've
do
not
want
got that job.
You do want to see a bit more urgency at it. I think whoever starts, he's gonna.
He's having a work run for Timothy.
You've thrown 2 shots in a minute. There needs to be activity.
Okay.
You are in a fist fight.
That's hard though, isn't it? It's so harsh on them, because I get why they're being like that, but like you said, they are in a fist fight.
Yeah, and you're in a sport, and it's a spectacle sport that people want to watch.
Superman punch there from Ture. I mean, Charlie's come out a bit more aggressive. He's pushing forward, but I just feel it's all about not getting caught.
Yes,
that's what this fight's about. And again, I understand why. Look, just look at the size, and they're both units.
Yeah, I'm never going to question why a fighter chooses the game plan they choose, because I haven't got the balls to climb in that cage in the first place.
If you look at the corner team, they're not happy. They're shouting him on and asking him to do something. I mean, if you've lost this decision, it's one of those where you can't really argue, because you haven't done enough.
Well, no,
you haven't really done enough to stamp your mark on it and say, yes, this was my fight.
2 big boys. Both fighters shaking their heads. And our judges now have a whole lot of work to do in front of them.
Very, very difficult to judge this fight.
Yeah, well, I'd be asking for some highlights, but I'm not going to, again, no offense to the fighters. This isn't a fight of highlights. This is a cagey fight of distance, picking the shots when you can, and not wanting to get hit.
For me, this was a fight that they fought not to lose rather than to win. That was the big difference between the two. Definitely.
And sometimes that doesn't make for the most exciting spectacle, but it's, again, for those people going, well, it's not very exciting, we're not the ones in the cage putting ourselves at that risk. So I'm, again, never ever.
Any sport you follow can have good matches and bad matches.
I'm pretty sure nil-nil draws in football happen all the time.
What about Rose Namajunas and Carla Esparza?
Oh, good Lord.
Who's going to question their skill and heart? But that fight just wasn't a fight that you'd want to watch back.
Not ever again.
It happens at the highest level. I mean, when Nagano and Lewis was matched, we all thought that was going to, how could this fight not be entertaining?
And that's because neither of them wanted to get hit. Well, Mr. Seth Khan has made his way into the ring. Before we make this official, I'll give a quick shout out to Intelligent FS, Eric's Fight Gear, and Valhalla Fightwear, 3 of the sponsors here at Almighty Fighting Championships.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard, which is as follows. 29-28 Asaboro, 29-28 Metcalfe, and 30-27 for your winner by split decision. In the red corner, Ture Asaboro. Please show your appreciation for Charlie Metcalfe. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a 10-minute interval. 10-minute interval. Thank you.